Hi Sagittarius, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of November. There's a lot to cover, and I'm going to try to simplify it as best as I can. But I want to say in the month of October, 4 planets station direct, and that facilitates your moving ahead in a very turbulent time. We are going to be in eclipse season. We are in eclipse season, which means a heightened sense of activity, a lot happening in a very short period of time. It can raise people's anxiety. Eclipses are like wild cards. You know a lot is going to happen. If it's hitting a planet specifically, you know a lot will happen, or in an area of your life, but you don't know exactly how it'll play out. It can raise your anxiety. Eclipses can be very revealing. They bring things to light that maybe we had no knowledge of prior, or make us see things in a way that we never have before. So it's very eventful. And for you, the South Node of Karma has been transiting in your sign since May 5th of 2020. And it's going to exit your sign approximately on January 18th of next year. But there is going to be a total solar eclipse in your sign on December 4th at 12 degrees of Sagittarius. And that's the final eclipse in the Sagittarius Gemini axis that began in June of last year. But it's a big deal. So let's see everything that is at play right now. So Mars changed signs at the end of October and entered the fixed water sign of Scorpio, where it will be until December 13th. Mars and the Sun are both transiting in your house of dreams and the imagination. And this is a great opportunity for doing spiritual practice, meditation, manifesting work, and working with your dreams. Maybe you're doing creative work, something with music. That would be great as well. And on November 2nd, Mercury squares Pluto at 5:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring power struggles, so kind of lay low with that. Mercury's transiting in your house of friends and groups. And then on November 4th, there's a new moon that takes place at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 12 degrees and 40 minutes of the fixed water sign of Scorpio. And a new moon is always a time of setting intentions and planting new seeds. So it's a really good new moon for you for focusing on what your dream is. It's literally in the house of dreams and imagination. To really manifest, you work with your imagination. It's a wacky new moon because the sun opposes Uranus at 7:58 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that is the planet of the unexpected. So there could be some twists and turns at work, at the workplace, or maybe, something surprising. But no matter what, a new moon is always a new beginning. And then on November 5th, Venus enters the cardinal Earth sign of Capricorn at 6:44 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It will remain in Capricorn until March 6th of 2022. For you, it's transiting in your house of income and money and what you value. It will retrograde on December 19th at 26 degrees of Capricorn, and at 26 degrees and 29 minutes. This triggers where Pluto retrograded in April of this year. It also sets off where Saturn was from March 4th until November 4th of 2020. Venus will station direct on January 29th of next year at 11 degrees and 4 minutes of Capricorn. And that defaults back to December of 2018, early January of 19. So therefore, this gives you an opportunity to reassess and analyze how productive you've been in building your income and your resources and your creativity. We are in a whole new era. We are no longer in the epoch of Capricorn. We are now in the new age of Aquarius, and we're all morphing to a whole new paradigm with technology and community and ingenuity, and we have to embrace change. And so this retrograde helps you because is a very cardinal, an action-oriented sign to get things accomplished for you to be productive with your financial goals and your creative goals. So that's a big deal. And then on November 5th, Mercury also changes signs and enters the fixed water sign of Scorpio at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It will be there until November 24th. And that, again, is in your house of dreams and imagination. Getting rest also, resting your mind. And then on November 6th, Mercury forms a helpful aspect to Venus at 11:59 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Very creative energy, could be good for financial opportunities as well. And then on November 10th, Venus forms a good aspect to Mars at 7:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Very creative and sexy energy. But later that day, Mercury squares Saturn at 12:04 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. For you, that could bring delays in communication, or perhaps there are disagreements. And then later that day, Mars squares Saturn at 6:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And people could feel very frustrated. And if you're traveling, there could be issues with travel. So that could be a little bit challenging on the 10th. But if you're working on a project alone, that would be, there is creative energy inherent in the sky. And then on November 12th, the sun forms a magical trine to Neptune at 11:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's really working with the dream and manifesting. And on November 13th, Mercury opposes Uranus at 10:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That can be chaotic. That could definitely bring unexpected news. Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury, but it could be disruptive. It can be ingenious energy. So working with that. On November 15th, Venus forms a square to Chiron, the wounded healer. And that occurs at 3:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, enabling an opportunity to do healing work around wounds that we all feel collectively. And then the sun squares Jupiter at 2:58 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that can just be an excessive energy. We are getting closer now to that lunar eclipse on November 19th, so we're already feeling that as we begin the month, but we're getting closer to it, and that is like a full moon on steroids. On November 16th, the sun sextiles Pluto at 4:01 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's very empowering energy. And for you, empowering yourself in your creative and financial endeavors. And then on November 17th, Mars opposes Uranus at 12:23 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That can be chaotic energy. That can be, people can be accident prone, very reactive, and looking for a fight. So just know that that is a challenging energy. And we're getting closer to that full moon eclipse. On November 18th, luckily, we do have nice aspects. Mercury forms a beautiful trine to Neptune at 10:38 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is good energy for tapping into the dream. And, you know, we want to manifest disruptive energy, and eclipses can feel very disruptive. They're kind of like, to me, they remind me of Uranus transits, and Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius in modern astrology. You know, the erratic, unpredictable energy, but can also be exciting. So that's, you know, it in a nutshell. And then later on the 18th, Venus trines Uranus at 10:08 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on November 19th at 1:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's really creative and inventive and romantic energy. So tapping into the magic with both Mercury trining Neptune and Venus trining Uranus, that partial lunar eclipse takes place on November 19th at 3:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 27 degrees and 14 minutes of the fixed Earth sign of Taurus. And for you, it's falling in your house of work and habits and routine. If you've been doing a lot of work, it could help to bring completion, but there could be issues at the workplace. Maybe there are big changes going on. Maybe you're getting a big wake-up call about your health or about your habits and what you want to release. Because remember, pardon me, there is going to be a solar eclipse in your sign. We're segueing and shifting to the Taurus Scorpio eclipses from the Sagittarius Gemini eclipses, but still you have one final eclipse in your sign, and you've got the South Node of Karma in your sign until January of next year. What do you want to release that's blocking you from being an even better version of yourself? So we've got that lunar eclipse in Taurus, and it's in your house of work and routine, and it could bring fruition in a big way for something you've been working on too. And on November 20th, Mercury squares Jupiter at 6:43 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could bring a lot of communication and information. Again, eclipses bring things to light. Could be a lot of emotions too with everything going on. And then on November 21st, Venus forms a helpful sextile I'm getting confused. Well, on November 21st, the sun enters Sagittarius, that I can say with confirmation, at 9:34 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it will be in your sign, happy birthday, until December 21st. So you'll enjoy that. It's your birthday season. Happy birthday. And the sun will be transiting in your house of self and new beginnings, giving levity to everybody because the sun likes being in Sag. It's exuberant and fun energy. And then on November 24th, Mercury enters your sign at 10:36 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So a lot of communication and networking and activity in your birthday season. On November 25th in the United States, that's the day of Thanksgiving, the moon is in Leo, which is a fun placement, but it's going to be making difficult aspects. It opposes Saturn, then it fights with Uranus and with Mars, so it can be combative energy. But on November 26th, on the following day, Saturn forms a helpful aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer, and hopefully giving us all an opportunity to structure healing collectively and together, because we're all experiencing this together in some, not some form. We're all experiencing a really heavy time in over 100 years. So we have to address that and be real about it. And I mean it, So, and then on November 28th, this Mercury meets up with the sun at 11:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your sign, getting a lot of things done and being very mentally active and probably a lot of communication. We also, at the end of November, are building up to the Neptune station. Neptune will station direct on December 1st at 8:22 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 20 degrees and 24 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. We feel the energy of that planet emphasized 5 days before and 5 days after. Neptune's transiting at the bottom of your chart in the house of home, family, real estate, and emotional foundation. You may feel that Neptune haze before it goes direct. Be careful of flooding and also emotional flooding, but also tap into the dream. Neptune rules the imagination and rules dreams. So we're all going to feel that Neptune energy at the end of November, and we're still in eclipse season, which brings things to light. Probably a lot of things will be brought to light at the very end of November, early December. And on November 29th, Mars forms a beautiful trine to Neptune at 9:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Good for taking action to manifest your dream and security. at home and family and within. And then Mercury forms a trine to Chiron, the wounded healer, at 9:41 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Very helpful and healing energy. And then Mercury does. I think Mercury does. And then Mercury also forms a helpful sextile to Saturn at 11:19 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And on November 30th at 2:19 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That helps structure communication. And on the 30th of November, Venus is in harmony with Neptune. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, just about to shift direct, and we're feeling that build up, and that occurs at 3:46 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Very romantic and creative energy. I wish you a lot of luck, Sag. You're almost out of the hot seat with the eclipses, and your birthday season is coming up pretty soon. Thank you.